And the big thing I'm a believer in, when people go on maternity leave and come back, treat them as a new starter. Because a year, 6 months, 9 months, especially in high-tech growth businesses, things change quickly.
What do you do as managing director of Xero?
So let's start with that. As the managing director for Xero UK, I am responsible for everything that our UK customers experience. So I'm involved in the product development, what we put on into shipping. I'm responsible for our go-to-market, so how we sell to customers, how we market to customers. I'm responsible for the over 650 people in the UK that work for Xero UK. So it really is the cross-functional end-to-end delivery into the UK market. So that's my job in a nutshell. And then how I got there. So I started with global strategy, and then I actually had the baby. Like, it was very good. Came back.
Fantastic.
And then I came back, and there was we had done a few turns of the strategy, and I was quite clear. We were all quite clear what we needed to do. But strategy is only as good as the execution that you are able to deliver. And there was a part of me that was itching to get into delivery. So I actually also wanted to be much more focused on the UK. Having had a baby, sometimes global hours, I wanted to just feel the customer impact. So I took on the director of operations role for UK and EMEA, and that gave me a real sense of how to execute. So it was still that strategic execution with real operations of the business. I then went and had a second baby, and Xero supported me through that. Thank you. And then I came back from maternity leave, about a month before I came back from maternity leave. We'd then transitioned to a second CEO. So we'd gone founder to first CEO to second CEO. Our second CEO is Sukhinder. She is a global CEO based in the Silicon Valley. And her strategy was a refresh, but being very, very prioritized. You may have heard of it, but it's the 3x3. And one of those threes was the UK. And her feeling was, it's one of our key markets that we must invest in. I want a leader to wake up every day to think about the UK. And so I came on maternity leave. I was promoted again to take over country manager of the UK. And then after that, I think I had a year of being the country manager and almost training wheels off. Okay, you're ready. You're the MD. Take on full responsibility for yourself. So again,
a crash course then, Kate. Yeah, thrown basically. In the deep end.
A dummy's guide to being a country manager onto an MD. And so, I got promoted to the managing director role April of this year. So huge thanks to Xero for supporting me to do that.
That's incredible. It sounds like they've supported you. Just it's very impressive, the support they've given you across the board. And one of those things, and something that stood out for me when you were talking, is how they supported you through 2 pregnancies. And maybe let's go with this one. So many women do feel, but I've had conversations on this podcast about this a couple of times. Many women in leadership roles feel they have to choose between a sort of career progression and starting a family. Okay, and regardless of the environment, that's what women who I've spoken to will have that dilemma in their mind, regardless. How can organizations create an environment where women don't feel that tension?
So I'm a big believer that the two can exist. I didn't believe it before, but I think having gone through it, I'm quite passionate that we should be able to do it. The environment that is required, basically open conversations about what that can look like. The way that I have done it, so I actually, again, hired someone that was pregnant. I think the thing that we shouldn't say is you can have it all and you can do it all. Because you can't do it all and have it all. You can have it all, but you can't do it all. And I think there's a slight difference there. But would you really want to? You can't do everything for your family all day and do a big job or a medium job all day. You have to balance and you have to prioritize. And I think 100%. Finding that, and that's true for anyone, whether you're a male or female, that's just life. You have to work out that balance of what that looks like.
I can verify that, Kate, for sure. I got 2 daughters, 7 and 10 is tough. It's tough.
It is tough. And I think having that, I think individually you have to work out where your balance is and what you're happy to sacrifice in some ways or prioritize. So someone asked me the other day, do you mind being away from the kids? And I was like, I hate being away from the kids for a long period of time. But if once a week I miss drop off and bedtime, I'm okay with that. That doesn't, for 6 other nights, if I'm there, I'm okay with that balance. But some people may not be, and that's okay. So I think there's a part there where personally, everyone just has to work out where they are. I think then support from a businesses is having open conversations. So Actually, if you want to work flexibly, is that going to work in your role? Some roles that's just not possible. And that's okay to have that honest conversation of, let's not try and kid ourselves that that's required, but are there other things where you're suited and how can we make it work for both sides? I think it is that partnership that you need to have versus all for one or all for the other. And the big thing I'm a believer in, when people go on maternity leave and come back, treat them as a new starter. Because a year, 6 months, 9 months, especially in high-tech growth businesses, things change quickly.
Yeah.
And so you come back and you're like, I don't know half these people, this has grown, this has changed, we're doing it. And people forget, and then you have this worry that you're not up to speed and you're trying to get up to speed and come back, so just treat them as a new starter. Have an onboarding process, get them back in. I think that's one of the very tactical things that we try and do to really support.
Oh, that's cool. I've not come across that before, but that totally makes sense. No, that's thanks for sharing that, by the way, Kate. That was a really good answer, and I think things are improving. I think slowly but surely, but we do need to get this sort of stuff out there so that this progression does sort of proliferate faster.
I think it's still the same for men. Like, I still think it's really hard if you are a dad and you get the phone call to pick your kids up from. I still think that's hard. So I just think I just
get that a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it is. It is. I've certainly I've not experienced this firsthand, but I've heard about this happening where, if you do ask for more paternity leave or you do ask for more flexibility, you're just sort of looked at as if it's some unfair request type thing.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, I know in Romania, I got a friend who lives in Romania, and you have this sort of government legislation for the parents to have 2 years paternity leave and maternity leave in one.
Yeah.
So basically, you get to split it however you like. So the woman can take a year, and then the man can take a year. They can take a year together. Do you know what I mean? As long as it's collectively 2 years, which I thought is fab, isn't it? That's a really good system.
We've got friends in Sweden where the mum takes the first year, and then every dad takes 12 to 15 months, so that the woman goes back to work. They're not worried about the childcare. So I just think what a great, there's things like that I just think are, incredible.
Something that I did read about you, that you are a very keen gymnast.
Yes.
You'd be pleased to know my 2 daughters are gymnasts as well.
Oh,
okay.
Yay.
So the question I've got, because I wanted to bring that up, but the question I've got for you is, being a gymnast is all about discipline. It's a really difficult sport. Very difficult sport for young girls to take on. Like I said, discipline, hard work. How is being in gymnastics for the early part of your life, has that shaped you at all in terms of your business outlook?
Yes, one for the good and one that I probably have to work on a lot, I would say. I think one for the good. Someone actually said to me yesterday, Kate, I think you've got a time machine. How do you get so much done? I swear you've got another 24 hours in our 24 hours. And I think having been a gymnast where you train a lot, you work hard, you have to be efficient, effective, and you think about how to break it down. I've got gymnastics, then I've got school, and then I've got this, and then I want to see my friends. So you get very, very good at being disciplined in that regard. The other thing that it teaches you is practice makes progress.
Yeah.
If you keep practicing, it will work. If you keep work really, really hard, it's similar to the 100-hour concept. But I think in gymnastics, you literally see it. Those that are in the gym all the time, you do continue to go. And that I am like that at work. If I know something's struggling, if I keep going, I'm just determined. I've got that extra gear of a drive to not give up. I think the thing that it does have, though, which I am very aware of now, and I'm also conscious of, as my 2-year-old started doing forward rolls I've not taught her in the living room the other day. I'm like, oh no, she's going to be a gymnast. There's a sense of perfectionism with gymnastics that you have to be careful of. So you obviously start from your score, then everything's wrong is mark off, mark off, mark off, mark off. So you always feel like you have to be perfect. And I think that's not healthy in business, because perfection is the enemy of the good. Again, it's about progress, it's about learning. So you have to flip that on its head, which is gymnastics as well, because you keep learning, you keep trying. But the drive, the hard work, the discipline are all great things, I think, for business. But just that perfectionism is something that I have to temper.